Good morning, everyone. Myself, Angel. My thesis project is Craft Park Culture as a Tool for Experiencing Architecture. The main intention of this project is to create social integration, and the goal is to bring opportunities for the craftsmen in the southern part of Kerala. This thesis was done as an extension of my dissertation, which was Culture in Architecture, a case of weaving communities in Balaramapuram. Still, there are communities that are following handicraft culture in Kerala. A list of crafts that are practiced in Kerala are shown here. From these, I have taken six of them and incorporated into my design. Handicrafts are one of the most important heritages India got from its ancestors. This ancient culture is carried on by some of them to keep these art and culture alive. Due to the lack of exposure and opportunities, Indian handicrafts and arts are not able to do proper execution in the market. Some places are even famous for their crafts items such as Aranmulla Kannadi, Balaramapuram and Chenamangalam Kaitari, bell metal crafts of Kannur, Puram crafts of Thrissur, and coir crafts from Alapura. The aim of the project is to create an architectural experience showcasing various cultural aspects and also to form an art and craft magnet by bringing the folk artists and craftsmen and engaging them in interaction with the wider public to share their skills and ideas that would be mutually beneficial for the community and the other people. Objective is mainly divided into three that are identify, formulate, and design. First is to identify the local art form and the craft nearby the region. Second is to formulate, that is to create a conversation between the past and the present, and thus formulating a project brief with a solution for the identified issue. The last one is to design spaces that incorporate tourism to make them aware of the rich cultural heritage that India holds. Also to create architectural spaces that forms the platform of the craftsmen to showcase their work. Coming to the scope of the project is about the upliftment of the rural craftsmen and enlightenment of the young generation with the potential of the craft sector. Limitation is that as there are different communities following different culture, it might be difficult to identify and house every culture. Thus, the most prevailing ones are being selected. As India is emerging as a major tourist destination, the demand for handicraft has greatly increased. Indian handicraft is not only playing significant role in country's economy but also providing employment to vast segment of people in rural and urban India. These are the locations of crafts in Kerala. Currently, there are two crafts villages in Kerala, Sargalaya in Kannur and Kovalam Crafts Village. Now moving on to site study. The site is located at Wellington Island, which is an artificial island in India that forms a part of Kochi city. The main tourist attractions around the site are Fort Kochi and Mattancherry, where the Binale activities are held, Vaipan and Kumbalangi Island, Charai Beach and Ernakulam city, thus making this project more feasible in this site as tourism plays an important role in this project. On moving on to the micro level, the site is surrounded three sides by water, that is east, west and south. The road in the northern side connects the southern Kochi to Ernakulam center. The land on the northern side is currently vacant land. There are two bridges adjacent to the site. The Kannangata Bridge that connects the island to the Edakochi and the Kundannur Devara Bridge. Site is a flat land with a small amount of mangroves in the water edge. No other considerable vegetations in the site. The site falls under CRZ 5 category. According to the renewed rule of CRZ 2019, the island within the backwaters shall have 20 meters width from the high tide line on the landward side of the CRZ area. The total area of the site is 30 acres. Considering CRZ, the total usable area is 25 acres. Coming to the analysis part, the major strength of the site are the island is the connecting point of the tourism node and the city node. Adjacent road adds to the major strength as it makes the accessibility to the site easier. CRZ rule restricting construction in the waterfront area is the major weakness. Views on the three sides of the land creates opportunity to design spaces that can enjoy view towards the backwaters. These are the site sections. Prominent vegetation is seen towards the water edges and center portion is completely barren flat land. Next is program and design brief. The main beneficiaries of this project are the craftsmen and tourists are the other user group. From the detailed study about the crafts in Kerala, 6 crafts such as handloom, terracotta, metal, wood, fiber, bamboo are housed in this project. From this area statement, a clear area of 11,950 is obtained as the build-up area. The main concept of the design is the motto, learn, create and produce. Designing spaces where craftsmen can learn crafts and brush up their knowledge from the professionals, produce craft items and sell it to the public consumers directly, and also where public can participate and learn the craft production, which makes the design to be more of a transparent one with the workspace and the workshops being completely open up. The site is divided into 3 major spaces, craft zone, bazaars and restaurants. Strategies used here are a main central circulation space or plaza that connects the adjacent spaces. As the main potential of the site is the views, creating curiosity in the design is another strategy used. On coming to the form of the building, it is inspired from the Kerala's traditional build form, which is the direct outcome of the climate and the need for shelter in hot humid environment. It is also the result of the cultural evolution. Tropical modernism techniques such as wide open spaces, increased ventilation, a focus on local resources are also used in the design. Courtyard spaces are an important element, which turns out to be the open workshops used by the craftsmen. On considering the site, 2 entries to the site is possible. One is through the road and the other is through the waterways. As the water metro is proposed in the backwaters nearby, an entry point is proposed in the site which enhances the tourism flow. As the CRZ zone is no development area, a walkway with green belt can be designed there. The site is divided into 2, restricted area and non-restricted area, which is separated with tickets for the entry. 2 main nodes in the sites are entry nodes, which is adjacent to the bridge nearby, and the visual node, which is the cornermost point in the site, which act as a focal point, creating a spine that divides the site into 2 with main focal point. The spine is the interior water body. As CRZ restricts the direct contact of the building with the exterior water body, an interior water channel is provided such that the visitors could enjoy the element within the site. This is the conceptual zoning diagram. The shops and restaurant spaces are placed at the entry portion of the site which act as an element to attract public into the site. Walkway throughout the edge of the water is provided in the site. Central plaza, which is the water body surrounding which all other spaces are arranged. Residential and parking areas are provided to the northwest area of the site, make it detached from the other main buildings. And the craft zones are placed such that the front faces the water channel and the back faces the backwaters. On coming to the detailed zoning, walkways connecting all the main craft zones backyards are provided throughout the edge of the site. Vehicular passage is restricted up to the entrance block where the parking space is allocated. Service road runs throughout the edge of the site, making the loading and unloading of the materials of the craft zone easier. Pedestrian passage around the inner water body connects all other spaces. Open amphitheater where the art festivals and other programs held is placed next to the entrance block, overlooking the water body. The amphitheater is in the restricted zone, whereas the open craft fairs and food festivals are held in the open area next to the shops and restaurants. Now let's move on to the master plan. As explained earlier, the site has 2 entry points, one from the road and the other from the waterways. And also the site is divided into 2, that is restricted area and the non-restricted area. Non-restricted area is where the shops and restaurants are placed, where people can come, sit and relax and enjoy these spaces, and also the walkway. But the walkway is restricted only up to the water entry. These restaurant spaces and shops makes the entry to the site narrower and then widening up into a into an open space, and to the entrance block to the craft park. The vehicular entry is restricted up to the entrance block, and the parking space is allocated near the entrance block. And this entrance block is divided mainly into two, that is the administration block and the reception block. The reception block is connected to the exhibition area and the open gallery, which is the open gallery is towards the water edge and is completely open and is a temporary structure. From the exhibition block, one can enter into the craft sectors. First comes the bamboo, then the metal, then wood, then the fiber, then terracotta, and last the handloom. The walkway connects all of the backyard spaces of the craft sector. One can visit the craft sector through the inner passageway and then can exit through this walkway and thus can enjoy the views of the backwater. There is a clear visual focal point that connects the entrance to the viewpoint that is located in the cornermost point of the site. Residential area is provided with separate passageway where public cannot enter. Open Performance Center is placed near the entrance block, overlooking the water body and the exhibition area. Service road is provided throughout the edge adjacent to the walkway. A service area is also provided adjacent to the parking space. These parking space, service area and residence area are placed such that they are detached from the main circulation passageway. This is the master plan with the floor plan, and detailed floor plan is given below. These are the views of the walkways, and this is the cornermost viewpoint. Now let's move on to design details. These are the detailed floor plan of shops and restaurant space. Shops are designed such that it is of single unit space connected through courtyards and walkway, and it is having a strong relationship with the entry route. Restaurant space is designed such that it is of 160 seat capacity with 96 open seating and 64 semi-open seating space, and they are having a strong relationship with the walkway and the water body beyond that. This is the courtyard space inside the shop units, and these are the restaurant spaces where one can sit and enjoy their food and also the view towards the water body. These are the entrance and exhibition space. One can enter into the entrance block and can access the reception area, which is on the right side of the entrance, and can access the exhibition area and the gallery. The exhibition area is placed overlooking the water body, and the gallery space is placed on the edge of the site overlooking the backwaters. In the exhibition block, there is an information center and the shop area. And coming to the office administration block, there is a library space that can be accessed by the public, and the office space and two conference areas. And in the exhibition area, there are two exhibition space and one gallery space. These are the entrance block and these are the exhibition spaces. Exhibition space is placed such that the walkway cuts through the exhibition and the gallery space. And now let's look into the detailed craft sectors. First is the metal craft sector. The common areas in all the craft sectors are the gallery spaces, the work spaces, the storage spaces, open workshops, and the shop area, and also the backyard spaces. Here, the gallery space is connected to the workspaces through the corridor, and these open workshops are placed inside the courtyard, and also there is the other one within the corridor space. These are the shops where they can sell their finished products, and these are the storage space they can store their raw materials and the finished products. And these workspaces also act as a classroom where the craftsmen can learn from the professionals, and also the craftsmen can in turn teach the public about the craft production. In bamboo craft space, there is an open gallery space, closed gallery space, workspaces, workshops, open workshops, shops, and the storage spaces, which are connected through the corridors and the courtyard space. These are the views and these are the explored views of these spaces. This is the entrance area of the metal craft sector. The next one is the woodcraft sector. Here the spaces are almost the same except they have a storage space outside the building where they can store their raw materials, and the space is a bit larger than the other buildings. Next is the handloom craft. It is also connected through the corridors and courtyard spaces, a small gallery space. These are the pit loom and this is the shuttle loom craft space, and these are the yarn preparation and finished products units, and these are the storage spaces, and there is a dyeing area outside the building in the backyard space, and there is a well adjacent to that, and they can store their dyed products in outside the storage area. And there is an open workspace and workshops where people can learn craft. This is the entry area of the wooden craft sector. This fiber craft sector is almost similar to the bamboo craft area. And next one is the terracotta craft sector. Here the courtyard spaces are a bit larger and the workspaces are arranged around this courtyard. And these courtyard spaces are used as drying area to dry out their clay items and potteries. All the other spaces are similar to those of the other craft sectors. This is the entrance of the fiber craft sector. This is the section through the entry point, and these are the shops and these are the restaurant space, and this is the walkway. And there is a strong relationship with the road to these shops and the restaurant spaces. This is the longitudinal section of the bazaar and the restaurant space. Inner courtyards are provided for the ventilation purpose, and also these act as an interaction point. This is a longitudinal section through the craft sectors. First one is through the bamboo craft, metal and the wood craft sector, and the next one is through the handloom craft and the interior water body and the bamboo craft space. This is the roof detail. A clear span of 500 cm is provided below the roofing structure such that a natural ventilation and the reflected light could enter into the space. This is the longitudinal section of the craft bazaar. Now let's move on to the special topic. My special topic is culture in architecture. Culture is a way of living that includes values, beliefs, language, and tradition. Architecture is a symbol of nation's culture combining all the aspects of human life and have a profound impact on it. There are some of the aspects of culture that influence architectural form, such as religion, work, and climate. Here work and climate are given importance. Craft being the major occupation, there are several communities that have specific settlement pattern. Here are some of those applied in the design: spatial organization, the roof form, and transparency in the workspace. These are some of the views. Thank you and have a nice day.